Hello everyone and welcome to the last episode of Canadian Winos for the year.
I thought you were going to say forever. I was like, oh, you didn't tell me that.
No, not forever, but for the year. It is
2020.
2020, December. What are your thumbs down? It's been a great year. It's been a sad year for COVID, don't get me wrong. We've had a lot of fun.
Trapped in our house drinking wine. It's been great.
Right, so I'm Scott.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
And we're here for our last episode of the year. A great chance for us we've spent the entire 6-7 months chasing down Chardonnay. So this is
all the Canadian wineries.
Visiting all the Canadian wineries.
Ontario.
There's a chance for Kelly's found her favorite in Ontario. So what I did today was I also brought in 3 other Chardonnays to kind of let her taste test against. She has no clue where they're from and no clue which is which. And probably after a couple drinks, I'll have no clue which is which either. So I have numbered them.
You notice that I got the bigger glasses.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we're going to let that go. So, in case we have too much to drink, you at home need to know that this is number 1, that's
No.
number... What do you mean?
Because you were standing on that side when you poured them.
Shit. Right, okay.
Stop it!
So
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So I did number the bags, the official Ontario wine bag, the actual brown LCBO bag. So we have the numbers on the outside just so I know which is which from that end. Is that how I poured them?
I was sitting right here and you were on that side of the thing when you poured them.
All right, we're going to go with that. So we're here to drink some great Chardonnays.
And we're wearing our ugly Christmas sweaters.
Right. So what is today?
It's National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, I think.
So we have our...
Or it was yesterday, I mean, whatever.
I'll just backdate it on YouTube. No
there you go.
So here we are. So we're going to have some fun. So great recap. If anybody's seen any episodes, if you haven't, well, you missed it. We've had a blast the last 7 months traveling around Ontario, visiting great wineries. We're going to continue this next year?
Yeah.
I hope. So we
Were you asking me or were you telling me?
Yeah, do you want to?
Oh.
Has this been fun?
Yeah.
You got to check with your boss, but are you...
Yeah, she said it's fine.
So we've had fun, I think, so starting in January, we'll make our way back into Niagara. We'll head off to a different destination, Peely Island, we've been trying to get to. Although I don't even know if you can get there. We must be able to get there in the winter.
We can't get there right now.
We can't get...
Lockdown.
We're not supposed to.
We're not supposed to.
Right. We'll see what happens with that.
We're rule followers, can you tell?
Yeah, no, we're not. But anyway, so be smart through COVID. Don't get me wrong. Wear a mask and do all the things that are
Wash
correct.
your hands.
But in January, do we want to start chasing down the best Pinot Noir? Do we want to start tasting some sparkling? Do we...
Yes.
You're not an ice wine fan, but I'm sure Donald Zeraldo would love to do a whole...
You know what? I've been known to drink it, so...
It's only because it was the only thing open sometimes on the table.
No, that's not... I'm an equal opportunity alcoholic.
Oh, you're not an alcoholic.
Equal opportunity drinker.
There we go. All right, so we will continue. We're having too much fun, so this will be something we continue.
Smells good.
Do you want so let's head into number 1. I'm not going to tell you what it is and where it's from.
Cheers.
Cheers. You did get the better
Wow.
glasses.
I got the better glasses.
Smell good?
It does smell good. Have I ever had these wines before?
You've had 2 of the 4 before. Try saying that 10 times faster after a couple glasses. You've had 2 of the 4 before.
This is good.
It's good. Is it great? Is it awesome? Is it better than back 10? And back 10 could be here. We are going to talk a little bit about back 10 on today's episode. I know it does come up often. We're huge fans, and we've got something fun happening later tonight that they're involved with. What do you think?
I like it. It's it tastes like grapes. You know, like when you get green grapes.
It's chewy. It's mouth-watering.
I would drink it. Yes, it's mouth-watering.
Very fruity.
Ooh.
It's delicious. Like it is like green apple explosion.
Yeah, a green apple. I could.
Right.
I could.
But there's a little vanilla there. You taste a little bit of oak to it. A little
Can
vanilla.
now.
You can now. But it's chewy. A little butterscotch.
Yeah.
Caramel.
It's not. I like
Good?
it. Yep.
I like it?
I like it.
Okay, good. We really need something in between from one to the other in case they all taste the same after a while. You didn't make any, smoked salmons or Cornish hens like we were supposed to have last time with something from Rife. No. All right, we got pizza coming though, so I guess that's the same thing. All right, number 2.
Number 2.
From the same region.
Okay.
Chardonnay.
The Chardonnay region?
I can't tell you where the region is.
Well, you said it was the same region.
It is the same region. I'm not telling you what country or what region, but it's the same region.
You're dreaming if you think that I know all the regions.
I don't expect you to know any regions, believe me.
As I said, ladies, I drive. I drive there. We get to the first winery and then I stop driving. Oh, it smells really
So if I didn't drive, we would get stuck at that winery until we Ubered home or leave the car overnight.
Kinda.
Because there's no hotels near anywhere we ever go with these places.
I drive a Jeep. We could get a mattress in the back.
All right, taste this.
It smells really good. That's nice. What's that?
It's Chardonnay, that's all I'm telling you.
Excellent. It was very good.
So that's number 2.
This one's more...
Is there a term for that or just a noise?
It does... Yeah, that.
Okay.
It's good, though. I like the smell of it.
So that's a little more complex, like that. We have one from Rife that was really deep,
Right.
a lot to it. This is
A lot going
more...
on in my mouth.
Right, good. It's a good thing we have a mattress in the Jeep, so...
It's good. I like
That is really good. You know what? I bet
I-
it's going to open up even better in a bit.
Okay,
It's
as
going
long
to
as
be
it's
a tough
as long as
night.
it's
We got
cold.
4 awesome Chardonnays.
Yeah,
Right.
I would agree with that.
Number 3. Could be the same region.
I'm trying to clear my palate.
Okay, we need water. Do we not have water? I know we can't drink any water, but do we have one?
I do have water, but I
You
tried.
left it somewhere.
I didn't. It's just around the corner over there, and it's not far. It's never far.
All right. Okay, well, let's stop right there. Do you have a preference, 1 over 2? We're aiming for Kelly's favorite Chardonnay. So this really could come down to something awesome. We hit a lot. I mean, I don't remember the numbers. I think we drank 50 wines at 25 wineries.
50?
Don't mix those up or we're in trouble.
I'm not. 1, 2. 55 wineries at 25. Sorry, 55 wines at 25 wineries. I'm looking at the screen there. It's our website.
So it was over the course of 2 wines in, over the course of 6 trips to Niagara or 7?
Yes.
Because we split 2 trips into one show. Because we ended up on a picnic. We had so much fun at Vineland, but I think that merged into like episode 3 or episode 4 together. So we tasted 55 wines, most were Chardonnays. Everything was done in Ontario, and really the only 4 towns, probably Beansville, Vineland, Niagara-on-the-Lake, and some of the wineries just outside Niagara-on-the-Lake were deemed...
I can't really make a choice.
No?
No. They're different. They're
Right.
they're the
Are
same,
they
but
great?
they're really good. Yes.
Okay, good. So we're on to number 3. This is the darkest of the 3 of you. Of color, do you think? We can do all the snobby, clean, clear viscosity. We're not like that. But it's darker. It's nice. Like it looks like
I think
a
it's the
deep,
table
rich...
that's really showing through the bottom of the glass. Oh, this one's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like this one. Number 3.
Yeah?
That's my pick right now.
So, some of the things we're looking for in a Chardonnay, we both have both sort of favorite aspects of Chardonnay we're after. Because we eat a lot of seafood, we sit around and play cards together, we want to be able to snack on cheese and crackers, and
We spent a lot of time together.
we just spend a lot of time together. But summertime, outside on the deck, nice warm weather, you don't want to drink a cab or something
We
heavy.
have the same taste.
We do have the same taste. So we're always after what's the best thing we can get. So you like this?
I do like this.
It's
You're terrible at
delicious.
keeping a secret, and I'm shocked that you've kept the secret of
So I'll
which
tell her-
wines were which.
Yeah, it's killing me. I had bought her a Christmas present. It was being delivered, but it was also a Christmas present for all of our friends. We're going to get into that in a little bit. It was supposed to be delivered on the Thursday. It didn't get here to Sunday, and I was like a kid at Christmas, which technically, I guess, it's the same thing.
You're not a kid.
I feel like a kid sometimes. Anyway, I was literally looking out the window for 3 days waiting for this thing to arrive so I could tell her what we were doing for Christmas. And we spent the whole day today delivering our Christmas gifts to friends.
That's right. So I made him tell our son that what the surprise was, because I didn't want him to tell me and ruin the surprise. And as soon as it got here, he told me anyways.
I proposed to you 6 hours after buying the ring. I can't keep things in, right? So
not a secret keeper.
Right.
So I'm shocked. But then again, we've only had these open for like 20 minutes. So I like this. This is
which
delicious.
means they could get better over time. That is really good.
That's really good. I really like that one. So number 3, you're in the lead right now, but let's see.
All right. So number 4, last wine. A little bit less color than the others.
Oh, it smells so good. It smells like candy.
Do you know what this is?
I have no idea, but it smells delicious. It smells like candy. I bet you it's going to taste like candy.
So it's got a big finish. A little watery in the beginning, but it's got a big finish. That ends with a ton of flavor.
Yeah. Oh, now I can't choose.
Okay.
What's your favorite?
I think number 3 and number 4 are there.
Right.
Right.
So normally what I do when I go to a restaurant is I wait for Scott to order so that I can order what he orders. Otherwise, I will eat half of what he orders off his plate, and I won't eat what I eat. Like, I won't eat what's on my plate. So I'm waiting for him to tell me what his favorite one is.
So here we go. Here's a few things that are interesting, unless I've screwed up the bags into something. 3 and 4 are the cheapest.
Well, aren't you the lucky soul? Wait till we start trying champagne.
Right, right.
Or diamonds. We could try diamonds.
Yeah, no, this is not a diamond show. So one of these sells for $116 a bottle. One of these sells for $77 a bottle. There's one at 40 and one at 27.
Wow.
And you would think
are you going to make me, is this like the Price is Right? You're going to make me guess?
Spin the big wheel. So I'm Bob Barker saying have your pet spayed or neutered, right? So when did you never watch Price is Right?
Oh my God, how old are you?
Right. So anyway, so wine number 1. We've got awesome stories. We're going to get into these. And we got pizza coming.
Okay,
so,
we got pizza coming.
Wine number 1, $77 from California. So wine number 1 was Chateau Montelena.
Oh.
Which is
we
the
went there.
entire reason why the awesome movie Bottle Shock was made. Because in 76, I think it was.
74?
No, it wasn't 70. I would have remembered it was 74. I think it was 76 they did the Challenge of Paris, Judgment in Paris. And Chateau Montelena beat out all the French wines.
It was blue.
It was brown.
Sure. But we talked about it with the cloudy wine that was delicious after we figured out it was supposed to be cloudy.
Right. So Chateau Montelena, $77. That was
this
wine.
Is number 1.
You're right, I did pour it that way. Right, so that's 1. So that's Chateau Montelena.
I'm not wrong
Good?
very often. Yeah, it's delicious. All right.
So number 2 is actually... No, that's not number 2. I knew I was going to screw this up somehow. There's number 2. So number 2 is Kistler, which is actually this week, Wine Spectator Top 100 came out. Kistler Chardonnay is number 6. It's the highest ranked Chardonnay on the Wine Spectator list.
Really?
$116 a bottle here. It's like 10 cents American. 116 Canadian here at the LCBO. It's a 2018 Sonoma Kistler. Good?
Yeah, it was good. They were both really good. Had I not had these two, I would have told you that they were fantastic.
Right.
I'm
loving the fact you chose the cheaper one. This is awesome.
Wow.
So, wine number 3, which we've had a lot. We've had with a lot of seafood.
We have, yes.
Mare Soleil has been our go-to always for U.S. Chardonnay from it's Napa or Sonoma. Monterey County. Well, that's even a better story.
Of course it is.
So Mare Soleil is actually through the Wagner family, who have Camus, as everybody probably knows, is probably one of the most famous ones.
Oh, it's so good.
This is Chuck Wagner's, not Joe Wagner's wines. Joe Wagner had Mio, I don't know, the Pinot Noir. He's had all the Bella ones that had the red wax on top of. Remember all the Pinot Noirs? No. Anyway, so Mare Soleil is from the Wagner family, same people that make Camus. It is really good.
It is really good.
And then number 4 is your back 10 Cellars.
Was going to be my pick. Had you asked me to pick one, because you didn't ask me, was going to be my pick.
Right, so back 10 Cellars, as everybody's watched our episodes know, we absolutely love the wine. It's $27 a bottle. This is their 19, which just came out. So they're 18. I think
Oh,
they
it
sold out.
smells so good. It smells like candy.
So you know, Back 10 is going to love the fact that you choose that over something as expensive and renowned as a
Hey,
Chateau Montelena
you know what?
and a Kistler, which is probably one of California's most famous Chardonnays.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Marseillais?
Probably by volume in the LCBO. I'm assuming Marseillais out some of the others. But the other ones have names that
You know what? If you haven't tried Back 10 Cellars, go to the website, order a case, or split a case with your neighbor, or whatever. Should I tell them how did I ever tell the story about how we discovered Back 10 Cellars?
I have no clue. I gotta go watch the past
Yeah, I
episodes.
don't know. We shot them. I've actually watched all of our episodes after we put them up on YouTube. But at one point, I picked up this book. It's To Build a Vineyard. It's the people that I think it's the wife.
Christina Brooks.
I don't have my glasses on, so I'm sure that that's her name.
Faith, right? Right here. Trust.
So, so I picked this book up at another vineyard, wherever we were. I'm a reader, so I always pick up, if it seems interesting to me. And I read it. I read the whole thing. I said, Scott, this is such a great book. You got to read it. Blah blah blah. I think you.
I did read it.
Did you read it?
Totally.
So we were out driving one day, and I said, I have to try this wine. Now I've read the book, but I haven't tried the wine yet. I need to try the wine. So we went, and I don't know that we did a tasting. For some reason, maybe they weren't open yet, or something happened where I don't think we did. Maybe we were in a hurry, something where we didn't do a tasting. But whoever was working that day mentioned that they should, that we should try the Chardonnay. So we picked up a bottle and went on our merry way, put it in the fridge, opened it up, drank it, and I was like, this is the best wine I've had in so long. Like, it was so good. And so it's been my favorite ever since. So yes, I really like their story. They have a great story, but their wine, spectacular. Can't go wrong.
So
It's my 2 cents.
here's how awesome they are. I came up with the idea on, I don't know what day of the week today is.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. It's Friday.
Friday.
Last Friday? No.
A week ago Wednesday, I came up with a bright idea, having issues. What am I going to buy for Kelly for Christmas? Diamonds. I know your answer to that. But so I
Diamonds
figured,
fix everything.
the best idea, let me get Kelly a case of Back 10 Cellars, Chardonnay. So I did the little online order, free shipping, awesome in Toronto area for anybody that orders a case or more. Or if you spend $200 more, I believe is the number on the website. It wasn't 10 minutes had gone by, and Andrew, the owner, Andrew and Christina, Andrew, the owner, emails me and says, thank you for the order. We greatly appreciate it. Christmas time. We can have it out for delivery for you tomorrow. And in fact, with your case, and maybe that doesn't do this for everybody, but probably should tell the story. Andrew says, it's COVID times. Why don't I do an online tasting for you, and let's walk our way through the wine and talk about it? And I went, and you can't remember everybody that's there. We had a retail store. We couldn't remember everybody that shopped with us.
Remembered a lot of people, though. We did remember.
We did do pretty good.
And nobody ever forgets me.
Wearing clothing like that, probably not. So Andrew says, let's do this. And I go, let's take this one step further. I will go and deliver 10 bottles to friends that love wine. And let's everybody jump into a Zoom call, and we will call it the Canadian Winos Christmas Party. Andrew's like, sure, great idea. Send me the Zoom link, and let's do it. So tonight is the official Canadian Winos virtual Christmas party. First annual.
We had to do it local. Because we had to deliver the wine, so we had to do some local.
So 10 lucky friends got bottles of wine delivered today with some logo glasses, which we should be using. Where are they?
They're waiting for our Zoom call.
Oh, 7 o'clock Zoom call tonight. Is the pizza coming before or after?
Yes.
Right. So, we do have a kid to feed.
Right.
Okay. So that's our little story about Back 10 Cellars and our Christmas. And so here's what I'll do. Are we recording the Zoom call tonight with Andrew explaining this year's Chardonnay and a bit of a story on the winery?
Yeah.
Do you know how to record on Zoom? You got a fancy
I clicked the button. Yes.
You build websites in your social media?
I don't build websites.
I build websites. Okay, so we're going to try and record tonight's explanation of the Chardonnay and everything by Andrew, if Andrew will let us. And if possible, what we'll do is we'll insert it into, not that this episode's not long enough as it is.
Well, we can always do a separate, little, here's his...
Here's Back 10 Cellars description of... So I think without a doubt, Back 10 kind of wins the Chardonnay of the year. You just nailed the 3 top.
This is, you know what, Marseillais, you know, it's a great wine, and I've drank a lot of Marseillais.
Like a lot or a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go back into my voices, right? So,
you know what, they were great. You know what, if you served them to me, I would be very impressed.
right.
And I at times feel like maybe my palate is not as refined. So I feel like, you know, when somebody, what did you say this one was? It was the number 6 in Canada or something like that.
Number 6 in
Wine Spectator, right? So
it was the highest ranked Chardonnay in Wine Spectator.
but it was not the most expensive. This was the most expensive, right?
Right, that was the most expensive out of this, right? Kistler. No.
I really liked it. You know, I really liked it.
That was 116. That's at 77.
I really did like it, and I really quite enjoyed it. So
I think it'll open up and get even better.
And I don't doubt for a minute. I don't have a palate. I can just tell you what I like and what I don't like, and I can start telling you what it tastes like because somebody over here is always ruining my wine for me. But I liked it. I like both of them.
Right.
They were good. I prefer a more buttery, smells like candy, like Back 10 Cellars smells like candy. It smells like, not that it's right, but it smells like a Pez dispenser or something like that. Like it smells like
That's
candy,
exactly
like,
what they were going for when
like
they started
nerds
the winery.
or like I don't know. But to me, like it smells really good. Like this, although it smells good. You know what? Honestly, I don't want to say what it smells like. I don't want to offend anybody.
PG rated YouTube stuff.
No,
here,
stop it. That's not it.
We got a mattress in the Jeep. I don't know where this is going. So.
It smells. If I was going to describe the smell to someone who, in a layman's terms, without knowing anything about wine, I would say this smells greasy. Like that would be my.
That's a complete example of wine for sure.
Which I don't.
Now, greasy or gasoline? Because I didn't get any.
Sure.
Like, there is some.
Yeah, I'll take gasoline, but I would say like if I was gonna, the first word that comes to mind when I smell this wine is, and this wine, the number one, I would say it smells greasy, but that's not
fair.
the right.
That's been
like that doesn't sound very
adjective
nice.
used
But
before.
you know what is really nice, and you know what, if you served this to me at your house or in a restaurant or whatever, I would 100% drink the bottle. So
You would never turn home. Maybe boxed wine, but you would turn down wine.
I'm not drinking boxed
It's a
wine.
gift that keeps on giving. The boxed
No,
wine.
stop that. No.
All right. Well, that's about us for our last episode of the year. If we can record some content from tonight's Andrew Brooks explanation of Back 10, we certainly will. We had fun this year doing this, didn't we?
We did. Actually, we had a lot more fun than we thought we might, and we had a lot more fun. We had a lot of fun going and visiting wineries that they were kind of a little bit more off the beaten path or maybe off the path that we normally travel. We normally go to, we've been to Vineland a number of times. We've been to Back 10 Cellars a number of times. We've been to, you know, a variety of wines. So but we've tried to, you know, there were a few of the smaller wineries that we did try out and were surprisingly good. And we tried out wines that I think that maybe if we didn't have this show, we would not have
For sure.
ventured over to. So
We would have never found slushies at Pondview.
right.
What are the
The
crazy
slushies,
things?
those were delicious.
They were good.
But remember that there was, I think it was Caroline's wine or something like that, which was like $13 a bottle, but it ended up actually
It was
being
really good.
good wine.
There might have been a hoedown going on inside the place we were at.
But
Everything was
you know,
bedazzled that day. But
right. But there was a lot of wineries that we probably never would have ventured to without a reason. And it was like we were on a mission to try them all. We didn't get to them all. There's a few wineries that
we got busy, I think, this year. We had no anticipation of getting as busy as we did with work. We
our
certainly
real
planned-
people jobs, we got busy.
Right. And some of the most incredible buildings we stumbled on. Everybody, if you're from Ontario and you haven't traveled around Niagara, the first winery we went to was like landing on the Bellagio if you've never been to Vegas. It was spectacular, the outside of...
Right. Culinary. We have their cork.
Right.
I just did the same thing. Their
It's right here. No, that's the back 10.
no, that's back 10. Their cork.
Top of our website is a picture of it, though.
Yeah, but
We
I can't get to that right now.
Right.
I think it's Culinary. I want to say it's Culinary. There was also Two Sisters, which was also a really spectacular building.
Right.
Although COVID, everything. The restaurant was closed. Everything was closed. We couldn't get it. I think we got in to buy a bottle of wine, but I don't think there was any more to it than just buying a bottle of wine.
Right. And we had some fun back at Stratus. We sat and had a great glass of wine. It was a beautiful place.
So good. Oh.
Picnic at Vineland was a great little. So next summer, if you're heading out, you and your spouse, you and your friends, out to Ontario wineries, make sure you hit us up and we'll gladly tell you all the great spots to go to.
Even if COVID is finished or if there's a vaccine or whatever, get out and support your local. That's really and truly that's what it was about. It was get out and support your local. So we were trying to support some of the local wineries that are local to us in Niagara. Love to get out to Pelee Island. Love to get
Prince Edward County we want to get to.
Right. Hopefully my friend Holly will send us some wine from British Columbia that we can't get here in Ontario.
No guilt trip there at all.
What? We're going for a trip there? Is that what you
No,
said?
we can get out there.
Oh.
So we can go there anytime. But
Perfect.
Good.
Well, we're under lockdown right now.
Right. We're not supposed to be going. Yeah, we know everybody
Trapped.
going anywhere right now. Anyway. All right, let's wrap this up. We got pizza to eat. We got a show to do. We had fun. Thank you. It's a lot of fun to shoot. I know it was a crazy idea the first time we were out talking about this, but
No, nothing's a crazy idea.
good. We obviously have lots of wine to drink for the rest of the night. So if you're wondering where we are tonight,
Or if you're wondering tomorrow night if we still have wine to open, still have open wine in
I
our
kept
fridge.
the corks.
Good job.
Fantastic. Should we wrap this up and
Yes.
we'll get everything else done? Thanks everybody for watching. I have no clue. This was episode 6, 7, or 8.
I think it was
7.
I want to say 7.
Fantastic.
I was going to ask you if we were.
I'm glad you got
recording.
dressed up for it.
This is my ugly Christmas sweater. It's a Christmas shirt. It's Christmas something. I don't
We
know.
got 2 for 1, obviously. Anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. We hope you had a great year. We hope you have a great Christmas. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Anything else you want to add?
Love you.
Oh, good. I love you too. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great Christmas.
Cool. Well, thank you so much to everyone who's listening to my voice and seeing my face, for spending your Friday night with us. This is a unusual but welcome way for Back 10 to get to be part of your life. So thanks for the time. For those of you that haven't been here, our little winery, we're called Back 10 because we're 10 acres and it took 10 years to make the first vintage. We've been longtime grape growers, just selling fruit to a winery called Featherstone down here. And they would tease us a little bit that our lots were some of their best tanks and barrels because we're growing in a heavy red clay soil at the base of the Niagara Escarpment. We're between Beamsville and Vineland for those of you folks that haven't been here before. And we're growing in some of the worst soil in the region. The old timers called it the dreaded Grimsby Red because they almost starved to death as pioneers trying to grow corn and beans in it. But what you might know about a vine is when it suffers in a poor soil, it'll reduce its yields to make higher quality fruit, hopefully to make better wine. So we crop quite low. Our tonnage comes in around 2.5 tons per acre on the site. That sounds like a lot of fruit, but for viticulture, it's quite low. There are several wine growing regions down in Niagara Lake that are in a sandy loam. They're in a fertile soil, and they can crop at 8 to 10 ton per acre. So that, well, I guess if you tell me that the Chardonnay you're drinking tonight is boring or forgettable, I'm going to throw myself off the bar. So if you don't like it, don't tell me. So and we're originally from out west, my wife and I. We're from Calgary, Alberta. And when I tell visitors to the farm that, they look at me funny, like, well, if we're from Calgary, why aren't you growing grapes out in British Columbia? But to be honest, we couldn't afford the land out there for viticulture in that part of the world. You might know that irrigation is key. And when we were looking back in the early 2000s, waterfront property was just way out of our league. There was no way we could afford it. And our idea for getting started in the wine business really started from meeting a winemaker. My wife and I spent years in the fine dining restaurant industry in Calgary, Alberta, where I worked as a sommelier, and Christina was my boss. She was my manager. And just so you know, ladies, nothing has changed. She is still the boss. And we worked at a fancy place where sometimes we do winemakers dinners, and they flew in a character from Washington State, Rick Small, this guy from Walla Walla, Washington, from Woodward Canyon Wines. And he had told us his story of how he bought a parcel of land, he put the posts in himself, he shovel planted his vines. And we were just like, is that possible? I thought you had to be a billionaire to want to be in the wine business. The previous winemakers dinner we had was King Estate wines from Oregon, where the owners had made their fortunes in the aeronautical industry. They built jet engines for NASA, and they had more money than Satan, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they built a winery. So meeting this character and listening to his stories, we were really taken with it. And about a month later, 9/11 had happened. And you might all know that Calgary is a big oil and gas town. A lot of Americans live and work there. Like in any one given evening, 1/3 of the dining room would be from Texas. So when 9/11 happened, people were stuck for a week to 10 days. It really resonated with the city, as it did everywhere. And about a month later, we had our usual dinner party, our gathering of friends, and the conversation was super macabre. What are we doing with our lives? What if it ends tomorrow? And I imagine people are having conversations like that now during COVID, where they want to alter the trajectory of their lives because they're miserable in whatever they've been doing. So that night, doing the dishes, we made up our mind and we were going to sell our place and move to wine country and try. So Calgary in the 90s was a boom town. Now, we bought a couple of dumpy homes downtown. We rented one out and we lived in the other. But over time, the value had grown. We had a bit of equity to put down as a significant down payment on something somewhere. But as I mentioned earlier, BC was out of our range. So we looked around here in Ontario, and we actually put an offer on a place up near Flat Rock Cellars, kind of on the brow of the escarpment up near Jordan. But it was a competing situation, and the offer, it went way over the ask, and we just couldn't afford it. We had a set budget, and that was it. And then this farm came up where we are now, and it was actually under our budget. It was such a dump. Oh my God, the place needed everything. But we had more energy than cash, so we just got going. The place came with 2 homes. We live in one still today, and we rented the other out as a bed and breakfast for 11 years, generating cash while we got the vineyard going. We closed the bed and breakfast down just in the spring of 2014 to open what is now our retail store there. So, and of course, that is now closed during COVID time. So we've moved everything outside. We've created these outdoor tasting areas all summer. We were running this big pavilion out in the vineyard. And now we've got these safari sampling tents that are disinfected between uses, and we have windbreaks with patio heaters, and we're doing everything outdoors. It's kind of like a Game of Thrones winter camp. It's super weird, but it is functioning. So if you need a break, a sanity break this winter, come on down. We're going to be open through the weekends, and come and taste some wine. So. But I know some Chardonnay has been thoughtfully dropped door to door all afternoon, so thank you for that. We got to get these kids on the commission structure, so thank you. Now Chardonnay is one of our smaller lots on the farm. The clone is number 76. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's talked to you about clones before, but in the world of wine and imagine the world of apples. There's a Gala, a Macintosh, a Granny Smith. Some are better for eating, some are better for baking. The same thing exists in the cultivars of Vitis vinifera, Chardonnay, Cabernet, Merlot, etc., all those varieties that we enjoy drinking. So the clone number 76 is known for more of these tropical aromatics. And we tend to take that a step further in that we leave it in the vineyard for as long as possible. We kind of joke that we like Chardonnay a little dirty out there in the vineyard. We almost wait, if you can imagine the clusters, the shoulders start getting a little bit brown. They almost look like they're turning to sour rot. But what we're trying to do is increase sugar level. We want a really almost an overripe quality to the fruit when it comes in. And we think it helps to add to this voluptuous richness on the palate. And we do a few other things differently with Chardonnay than other wineries in the region. Number one, this is a wild fermented wine. And I'm not sure if anyone's talked to you about wild fermentations before, but I know you all have bought grapes at the grocery store. And you may have noticed that on them is a white dust. In that dust is wild yeast. Well, the dust is actually called bloom. And that wild yeast, wild fermentations, I'm not sure if you ever made wine or beer at home before, but the fear is that yeast takes the sugar and converts it to alcohol. But we don't know anything about that yeast. So if you've ever made wine or beer at a Unibrew, U-Brew kind of a place, as the yeast eats sugar to create alcohol. As the alcohol builds to 3, 4, 5%, even that little bit of yeast could be toxic. Pardon me, that little bit of alcohol could be toxic for the wild yeast that we just don't know anything about. And it could shut the ferment down early. We like alcohol to finish around 12 to 12.5%. And hopefully that's a wine that has a beautiful balance between its fruit, its oak, and its alcohol. Because I know you've been to a wedding or a party and you've had a Chardonnay or a glass of white or red wine that's been poured for you. You put it to your nose and the first thing you smell is alcohol, this kind of warming in the nose and the throat. So if we just slept in one morning, the alcohol can build past where we'd like to finish. It can build to 13, 14%. So there are some other guys fooling around with wild fermentations in Niagara, but a lot of really high alcohols. I had a Sauvignon Blanc from down in Niagara on the Lakeway that was wild fermented, but it was 14.2 alcohol. I couldn't smell anything other than booze. It's like someone put a little drop of vodka in there. So big wine companies, I think they'd love to do wild fermentations because the purpose of wild ferments is to give us more of everything, more length, more texture, more nuance in aroma and bouquet. But how are you going to check on 500 barrels 16 times a day? I don't know. I mean, we've just boosted production from 9 barrels to 10. So it is a super small lot, and we can fuss over it in a way that the big guys can't. Now, another big thing that we do a bit differently with our Chardonnay is we're fermenting and aging this in Canadian oak. Now, it is the same species as you find in Kentucky, but it grows through the Carolinian forest north of us. This idea that the tree is growing more slowly in a cooler environment, like if you look at it, the wood under a microscope, the cells are physically closer together. The grain is just more tight, so it imparts less raw wood than other forms of Chardonnay you may have had out there. Now, I know you've been to a wedding or a party and you've had a Australian or a California Chardonnay and you put your nose over this thing and it smells like there's sawdust in there. You know, there's a 2x4. Like, have you ever walked through the lumber department at the Home Depot? This resiny wood, that's all you can kind of smell. So the tighter grain gives us this less of that powerful wood aroma and more of these elegant tropical, like vintage to vintage. We consistently get these like coconut milk, toasted coconut, and I often say these almost like a tangerine marmalade that may have to do with some of the long hang time in the vineyard, but certainly the oak aging is playing into that tropical kind of aroma. So, and it's a bit different, our Chardonnay. Hopefully a bit different, it's not weird. You know, it's still in the Chardonnay wheelhouse. But we made 4 barrels in 2013. It was such a hit, we're just gonna keep making more of it. Now they often call Chardonnay the winemaker's wine because we tinker with this. Riesling, for example, on our farm, if you can imagine, we bring in the whole lot in one day by hand pick. We have a crew of migrant workers that help us bring in the fruit. We press till like between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and all that juice that spills off the Riesling press goes right to tank, and we ferment it, and then we bottle it. Chardonnay, we do the polar opposite. In Riesling, we have this fundamental belief it's only as good as it's ever going to be coming off the press. But Chardonnay, we tinker, like we manipulate to make it better. With Riesling, we don't think that's possible. So when you swallow this wine, you might get a bit of butter, like almost popcorn butter. And this sounds a little gross, but bear with me. Imagine inside the barrel, when Chardonnay is fermenting, it almost looks like a wheat beer. It's hazy. And that haze is the yeast, like this yeast converting sugar to alcohol. And eventually that alcohol gets up to a point, it kills all the yeast, it drifts to the bottom. At this point, we call it lees, L-E-E-S. And imagine I have this weird kind of stainless steel hockey stick looking device with these shark finny things on it. Then we stick that in the barrel every 3 weeks and we stir it up. And then extended contact with a dead yeast cell gives us this like richer, rounder, almost umami, this roundness on the mouthfeel. The French give it a really sexy name. They call it bâtonnage because it sounds better than a stirring of slime in tank or barrel because it's super gross when it's going on. But I can't imagine the first person who said, who tried that. And then, after it came out of the barrel, they're like, you try it. No, you try it. But when it does come off the filter, it's this beautiful golden color from all this manipulation. And we love this rich roundness that we get from the lees contact. So. Now, for folks that visit us at the winery, they'll often say to me, hey, Do you have an unoaked Chardonnay? And we don't. We just have the one. And we're trying to make the most rich and voluptuous style that we possibly can. So a lot of wineries have kind of split down their portfolio where they make some in stainless steel that is more neutral and some more woody like this. But we're all in on the Canadian oak. We're all in. So, so that is our wine in a nutshell. So if there's